Welcome back to Salonica Movies. Today I'm going to recap and explain American horror thriller film called The Green Room, released in 2015. Spoilers ahead, watch out and stay safe for friends. Pat, Sam, recent Tiger wake up completely hammered on the side of a country road in their van, seemingly having passed out while driving. They are all part of the punk rock band The Ain't Rights. By seeing them, it is clear that they are not very successful with their band. The group slept all night with the engine on that farm field. Pat and Sam ride a bike to a nearby parking lot and siphon some gas to get them back on the road. The band meets up with a guy named Tab and gives them the key to his apartment so that the grouping get ready for the interview. Tad planned for his radio. He asked the band what their desert island band would be. Reese, Sam and Tiger think of theirs, but Pat can't. After the interview, the band plays a gig, but their pay is barely split between the four of them. Out of anger, Reese pushes Tad toward the wall, but his friends interrupt before he starts hitting Tad. Later, Tad tells the band he got them to do a gig in spot where his cousin works and that the pay's better. And he also warns them the people are not very friendly at the place they're going to perform, but the group doesn't take that very seriously since they have a good experience playing in front of unfriendly people. The band arrives at the venue, which happens to be a skinhead bar. They meet Tag's cousin Daniel, who behaves a little rude to Tiger when they ask Daniel about his girl. The manager comes out and welcomes them to their refreshment room. As they are getting inside the bar, the band notices the board misspelled the band's name as The Aren't Rights. They go to play a cover of Nazi punk scoff, which doesn't go well with the crowd. They then play a different song which doesn't get much better reception. After the show, the band gets their money and is about to head out. Sam forgot her phone in the green room and Pac goes to get it. When he enters, he sees two people, Warm and Amber, standing over the body of Amber's friend Emily, dead with a knife in her head. Pat freaks out and runs out of the room, or calling 911. The bouncer, Big Justin and Game for Sam, Reese and Tiger into the room. Their phone don't get taken away while Justin holds them all at gunpoint. However, the 911 call gets connected and the lady inquires about the problem too, which Gave tells there was a stabbing in the bar, and he called to report that. Gave then arranges two young skinheads together to stab each other for $600. As an officer arrives, he also promises the boy that he will double the amount of the end up doing time. The club's owner Darcy arrives that he says the band has to be dealt with inside the green room. The band attacks Justin and takes his gun with respecting "I'm down" and threatening to break his arm. Darcy from the outside talks to them about handling the situation in peace and asks them to open the door, but Pat, who speaks for the band, demands the presence of police to open the door. Darcy agrees to that since he had no fake stories to tell them at that time. Outside, Darcy orders Gave and Clark to kill the band members inside the room, and after that they will transfer the bodies to the place where they were setting up for trespassing. Drama. Reese lets Justin get up, holds the gun at him after taking it from Sam. Was no idea how to handle a gun. Then he tells Justin to sit on the couch and takes all his things, including a box cutter. The club experiences a power outage, inciting a brief panic among the group until Amber turns on a lighter and sparks up a cigarette, which she gives to Justin and tells the band to watch the cherry in case of anything suspicious. The lights then go back on. Darcy then goes to the stage and talks to the people in the bar that due to the electricity failure the bar's going to go close, and he asked them nicely to leave because Darcy wants everyone out when they take care of the band members. Then Darcy comes to the door outside the green room with a story that the gun they are holding inside is not registered and hence he wants it to be handed over to him before the cops come. The band members believe the story and agree to hand over the gun but keep the bullets. Pat remains suspicious as Darcy says that cops have come and gone. Packets ready to hand Darcy the gun outside the room as Darcy claims there is nobody else with him. This proves to be a lie. When Amber sees another pair of feet through the vents before she can warn him, Reese tries to attack Darcy with a rod while Pat's arm gets slammed and cut up horribly. Reese pens just to back down and stats his arm and places him in a chokehold until he passes out. Amber finishes them off by cutting him often with a box cutter while Darcy and the skinheads plan to get rid of them. The group starts to break through the floorboards for a way out. This leads them to a bunker with the skinheads run a heroin operation. There is no exit down there, so the group return to the room. Tiger helps wrap Pat's arm in duct tape. With no other options, the group plans to make a run for it while arming themselves with some kind of weapon. Tiger and Reese run out, but Tiger gets his throat ripped out by a pit bull and Reese gets stabbed to death. Pat, Amber and Sam have to stay in the room. Darcy now doesn't want to wait anymore, so he decides to summon people inside to kill them all. Daniel, who was standing nearby, asks Darcy to let him go inside to finish the job because he wants to take revenge for the key killing of Emily. Daniel and one skinhead go to the room, or Amber tells Daniel that Worm killed Emily when Worm learned that Emily was going to run away with Daniel, and now Darcy is going to pen her murder on the band. Daniel tells the skinhead to go back and guides the remaining three downstairs to get some guns, but Daniel gets a buckshot to the face courtesy of a skinhead. Pat kills the skinhead with a machete. The three run outside with a shotgun facing the skinheads. Darcy tells them not to shoot at Amber. Sam gets shot in the leg and then as mauled by the pit bull. Pat and Amber go back to the room, now both frightened and tired. Pat tells an anecdote about a paintball tournament he participated in, which he compares to his current situation as he was outnumbered in both scenarios. He and Ever then come up with a plan to survive. Darcy sends to skinheads again into the green room to kill Pat and Amber. They find Pat yelling nonsensical. He now with his head shaved in the space with black paint on it. He hops into the bunker and one skinhead follows the other. Skinhead sits above keeping watch, unaware of Amber hiding in the couch. She crawls out and slits the skinhead's throat with the box cutter. The first skinhead looks are packed with a shotgun. Amber distracts throwing the bodies of Emily, Justin and the second skinhead down. Pat us the chance to grab the skinhead's gun, but they fight for it. Amber descends with the gun of the skinhead she killed and shoots the other one dead. Gabe goes to the room as Pat and Amber make their way up, remorseful of what has happened. He says he was to go to jail and Amber forced them out of the room with their guns pointed at him. They leave the club. As the morning comes, Gabe takes them to the place where Darcy and crew are setting up the death of other band members to convince the cops that it was trespassing. They leave Gabe to find a phone and tell him to call the cops while Pat and Amber go into the woods. Pat and Amber come across Clark and a skinhead, Alan, who was working on the setup with the guns Pat and Amber holding. They make clog et al. And walk away from the band towards Darcy. Seeing them, Darcy, a shocked and scared Clark, tries to explain the situation but ends up shot by Amber in the chest and he dies. Darcy, realizing it is the end, attempts to walk away as he draws his gun for the shot dead as well. Pat and Amber sit down as they were for the police to arrive. They spot the pit bull, who walks calmly and lies by his own or Clark path. Then tells Amber he figured out his desert island band. Ever says to tell someone who gives a shit. Meanwhile, Gabe reaches a group of people and asks for help by calling the cops. After that, we see some shots of Worm intoxicated with the drugs Darcy gave him and Tad cleaning his up.
Subscribe and press the bell so you don't miss any updates.